Race recaps, your 450 race recap brought to you by our friend at Gutter Works. Always well hung, just like Justin Barsha, and Jason Anderson.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. No other comments.
No.
Okay, great, cool. All right, so let's start right off here. So, all right, so Jett goes 1-2, and waves Kenny by.
Yeah, man.
All right, go ahead. Here we go.
Well, I don't know how you can disagree with my argument. I literally laid out the most logical way of thinking that. He was ahead of him. I even said to you after he put in a heater halfway in, he put I think it was I don't know. We couldn't see the live timing, so maybe my seconds are out, but it felt like he put 2.5 seconds on him.
Put some time on him.
And then Kenny, and I even said to you when you came back up, I was like, okay, well, that's it. Jett's, that's when he dropped the hammer, just like he did to chase the first moto. And I honestly thought, okay, cool. Kenny gave him a good run for 10 minutes or whatever it was.
Yep.
Or 8 minutes, 9, whatever. And Jett's going to sail off in the sunset, and he's going to win by 5-6 seconds. Cool. And then Kenny just kept pushing, and he kept closing the gap, He never stuck a wheel in on him. And then, obviously, now you've seen, the footage or whatever. I obviously haven't watched the broadcast, and he waved him by up top in the back section on that little short shoe straightaway before he dropped back into the stadium, or speedway, whatever, off the embankment. And he made the comment about, oh, yeah, using my big brain, I didn't need to win this. But logically, and this is literally logically, this is no me interpreting it one way or anybody interpreting the other. You're ahead of somebody, and I understand, I don't have to win. But you're ahead of him. He never passed you one time. All he did was pressure you the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like Stu, Stu and Reed did back in Unadilla back in 2002, where Reed was sticking a wheel in there. Kenny even never really got that close. He was just marking him the whole time, pacing him, putting pressure on him, making him know, hey, I'm not going anywhere, dude. I'm going to battle you to the finish. And he waves him by. Okay, cool. Boss, savage move. I'm all about it. But to sit here and say that, he could have still won it and it wasn't any pressure on him, logically that makes no sense, because at no point did Kenny pass him. If Jett would have gotten past and then Jett passes him back, oh, hey, I'm just toying with you, dude. I can let you go and then I can pass you, no problem. Then, yeah, it is everybody's, and I assume that there's people that have probably already said this on the forums and shit. Oh, man, Jett, that's just him toying with people. But I don't know how you can come to that conclusion, because Kenny never passed him. All Kenny did is sit back there and mark him. What would be the point of Jett giving up a lead when he never really gave up a lead at all? Other than the fact that he went to a limit that he was not comfortable with. That moto, not the first moto. First moto was handily, had no pressure whatsoever. I think Chase's bike looked like shit, but that didn't matter. Jett just beat him. But the second moto, you logically cannot sit there and go, that was because he did not feel comfortable running that pace. Because at no point did he ever get past. You don't just, come on, dude, you don't just let somebody by when you've had no actual, he's never ran it in and he never passed you. When everything was going smooth sailing for you, other than the fact you were getting pressure from the back. So the only conclusion you can come to is you went to a limit that you were not comfortable with on that night. Not in general. On that night or that moto. And you're like, hey man, cool. You're putting it at a level right now that I don't want to go today. And he let him go. Or he not let him go, but he let him by. And then he dropped off. That's the only conclusion you can come to. I don't see how you can come to any other conclusion with that. He just didn't want to go that pace that night, which is fine. Jett's not going to want to go 100% or 95% every night. Nobody ever wants to do that, because that's how you throw your career away, because you can make one small mistake. It's such a fine line with these dudes at that level that you can, and we talked about this on Friday night driving home. One small mistake, break your femur, break your back, blow your ankle out, anything, and your career's done with. There's no point sometimes. But I just don't know how you can think of it any other way, because he never got passed. It's not like he was toying with him. He never let Kenny pass him, and then he passed him back, and he's like, hey man, you got nothing. I can pass you whenever I want. I just don't come to that conclusion. And I get how Kenny's pissed. Now, I'm going to go back and watch it later, maybe tomorrow, because Kenny made some comments on the podium about, apparently, and then you said his Instagram or Twitter or whatever, he's not happy. I don't blame him, dude, because it's a dickhead thing to say. If you say that in private with people, cool, man. But you basically, and Jett's a kid, so it's fine. But I lose a little bit of respect when you say shit like that, because you're basically making an excuse to why you got beat that day.
What's the excuse he's making?
You coming out and saying, yeah, I was using the big brain and I know I didn't have to beat him and do this. Why would you make that comment when you were ahead of him the whole time?
But that doesn't make any sense to me because he waved him by. So, like, you can't say that wasn't the case because he literally waved him by.
Because he got pushed to a level that he was not comfortable with.
I mean, that's fine.
So, like, that means
fine,
that
whatever.
you did not want to keep going with the rest of the main that level because you knew that there was a huge possibility you were going to arrow yourself into the ground or make a mistake.
Yeah.
So you wanted to say no mas. You didn't want to do it anymore. You didn't want to keep going for the full 20 with however many minutes they had to go.
Yeah.
There was no cat and mouse game going there, dude.
Yeah.
It's not like he let Kenny go and then he passed him back and let him go like Stu did to Reed back in 2002, where it was literal visible that you were just toying with him and you could have put 10 seconds. No, man, if he could have put 10 seconds on him, he would have put 10 seconds on him. We watched it the first Moto.
Yeah.
So it's disrespectful to Kenny and go, yeah, man, like, no, I could have beat you. Yeah, you could have still beat him. But you went to a level that you weren't comfortable with, and you decided to take the easy way out and not keep doing it.
I don't know. We need to watch the podium interview because, like, I don't.
He didn't say all that shit, but
I'm just saying. So like,
I'm interpreting when you make a comment, yeah, I was using my big brain. Let me ask you, what was the point? Why didn't he just go to the finish and keep letting him win? That's my counter argument. And keep going and keep winning. He was fine. Kenny never passed him.
Oh, yeah.
What was the point? Okay, I didn't have to beat him. Dude, you never at some point got threatened. He never passed you. All he did was hounding you and making you ride at that level the whole entire main.
Yeah.
What was the point of letting him go? Like, are you trying to big dick it? No, man. Big dicking it would have been you to let him pass you and then passed him back if you're really leaps and bounds better than Kenny. But he never got passed. He never one time got passed. Kenny never even tried to run it in on him because Kenny was actually using different lines. He was searching. He wasn't just dropping into Jett's line. So the way I say that's a dick thing to say is that's an easy way out to go instead of saying, yeah, man, I just didn't want to run that pace the whole time. He had it. I didn't want to do what he was doing. It's just easy to say, yeah, man, I put my thinking brain on and I just didn't need to beat him. Bro, you never got passed the whole time. He never passed you the whole time.
I'd be interested to listen to the rest of the interview or like the press conference and see like how he like what he actually says because we only heard like part of it yesterday.
Yeah.
When we were walking around the pits afterwards.
For sure.
So like maybe in the rest of that he says like, yeah, I put my big brain on and was like, oh, I don't have to go this fast, so like there's no point for me to go this fast because like if he did that, like what's the problem with it?
Because he's
literally then saying like Kenny was going faster than me. If he says it, I mean,
but
we don't know because we haven't watched anything yet.
But what is the point of saying that? Why don't you just say, hey man, like Kenny, he was better than me today. I didn't want to do it, and end of it. Don't add on and say, oh, I was putting my big brain on and I was thinking, oh man, I don't have to win today. It's a disrespect to Kenny because it's basically saying that if you really were going to win, you were going to win and you didn't need to do that. But you said, no, boss, I didn't want to keep going that fast. Okay, own it, dude. Own it. Don't just say, okay, I didn't want to go that fast. But yet, on the other hand, yeah, but I was thinking and I was like, man, like it's basically saying if you really wanted to keep going that fast, you would have. No, you didn't want to keep going that fast. And I don't think the words ever, yeah, man, like he was going faster than I wanted to, ever came out of his mouth. Now, maybe we watched the press conference, he says that. But if Kenny is that pissed, and we know how Kenny is these days, he gets irritated about shit, but he gets irritated about it for the right reasons. Jett probably never said, yeah, man, he was just going faster than I wanted to. No, you just came out with, I was using my big brain, and like I didn't have to beat him, and I didn't do that. The only people that ever say that are the ones that are in second, and the guy in front of them is going to a level, and you're just like, hey, man, like I'm just cool with taking a second. Dude, you were ahead of him the whole time. If you really were better than him that day, you would have kept pushing that pace, you would have won it, and there'd be no argument about it, and we wouldn't be like, you know what, yep, man, Jett that was what he was on it. No.
I feel like we're making this way, way more than it has to be.
No, man,
like,
it's a head game. It's a head
game. You're literally
game.
Like making this way, way more. Like,
because that's how Kenny's seeing it. You're only seeing it from Jett's perspective because you're a Jett fan. I like Kenny, but you know I'm not a fanatic. Like, I don't like, yeah, Kenny this, Kenny that. That's not my guy. I'm seeing it from how Kenny is. You're only seeing a perspective of Jett is because you like Jett and you just think he's the GOAT and this and that. But if you're Kenny, I would be in the same way. I'd be pissed, dude. Admit it, bro. You didn't like going as fast as I was pushing you, and I was a better man today because you didn't have the balls to keep going that for 20 minutes, plus one or whatever we're doing right now. But Jett's just basically negating that and going, yeah, man, like I could have kept going, but I just didn't want to.
He's the fucking smartest rider we've ever seen.
No, he's not.
Because,
no, man. I don't believe he was doing that in his brain. I don't believe he was doing that. I believe it's a lie.
Okay.
It's bullshit. It's bullshit.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a lie. I don't believe he was doing that in his brain. I believe it was as simple as, I didn't want to go that fast.
If any other 19-year-old kid that was
He's not right there. There's no 19-year-old that is that smart. I'm sorry. It's not true. There's no 19-year-old that is that smart riding a dirt bike. There's no 19-year-old.
Yeah, we've literally never seen it, and now we are.
So you can watch Jett walk around like he's his head's in the sky, but you think that he's going as fast as he is.
We've talked about this before.
He's not that
think
smart.
There's more going on up there than what we actually give him credit for.
But I don't believe that he's that smart. He's 19 years old. He's not a grown-ass man. His brain has not even fully developed. So now you're just saying that he's ultra smart? No, man. It's bullshit. I'm not going to go on down this road that he's like all of a sudden the smartest person we've ever, because now you're talking.
Here we go. Hold on. This is like we talked about on Friday at the truck. We're just going to the next thing to degrade him. Here we go. Keep going.
You're talking about when you start talking about that stuff.
He fucking waved him by, dude. He knew he didn't fucking need it. There's no other reason he waves him by. We've seen this time and time again, and we talked about this last night too. Every other fucking guy turns their fucking brain off way too much when they ride. Stu did it a lot. Your guy Stu was a fucking moron when it came to this, and pushed it to the point that he hit the fucking deck, which is all
but Stu was doing it because he was already ahead of everybody.
Which is all we've seen. He wasn't always ahead of everyone. He was pushing to fucking like catch Ricky and he'd hit the deck.
But he was never ahead of him. There's a difference.
Same fucking thing.
There's a difference.
And he didn't know to turn it off and just be like, oh, if I'd have just taken this fucking second place instead of fucking pushing it, hitting the deck and getting a DNF.
He was never ahead of Ricky when he was doing that, dude.
Oh, man. Dude, this is
He was never ahead of Ricky. When he was crashing, he was behind him trying to run Ricky's pace for 35 minutes. Jett, let me ask you this. Why would Jett think that he would need to do that when he's already ahead of him and he never got past?
Why would Jett think they?
Why would Jett let Kenny by, other than the fact that he didn't want to keep going that pace because of the fact he never got past?
That's exactly it.
So he wasn't.
He didn't want to keep going that pace.
So Kenny was going faster than he was comfortable with.
I don't need to do this anyway.
So he wasn't comfortable going that pace.
Because if he keeps going that pace, then in his mind, he thinks, oh, I hit the deck. Great, cool, awesome.
That's not. I'm not disputing that.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking about, and this is where I go with Jett when you guys talk about he's doing things we've never seen. Right there.
This is an exact point.
Right there. No.
We've never seen a fucking
done
kid.
it. RV's done it. Stu is not the good example.
Dungy's done what?
Dungy's been out front and he's gone, hey man, when he's battled RV, you're better than me today, and I'm just going to... He's never done the waving thing. I'm not going to do it anymore. You're better than me today. RV did it with Stu plenty of times. Hey man, I know eventually you're going to ragdoll because you're going Mach 10 faster than I want to go. You're going to crash.
We've had these guys get up and be like, yeah, dude, I just did the fucking math. I didn't need to fucking catch him.
That's why I don't believe that he's doing it. That's why I don't believe that he's doing math in his head. You try going and doing math in your head at a slow speed. Hold on.
I'm just going to start keeping track of the negatives towards Jett here. So he doesn't know math. Doesn't know math. Hold on. What else did we talk about the other day? Oh wait. He might not win. We don't know yet, but he might not win a Supercross title for fucking 6 years. Where else do we want to go? Cause you keep moving the goalpost on the kid.
He's not doing math in his head. He's not that fucking smart, bro. You're talking about now. You're talking something that goes beyond riding a dirt bike, and you're talking about an actual intellect. Jett is a fucking 19-year-old kid that rides two wheels for a living. The intellect that it would take to do that.
To do what?
To do the type of math in your head instead of just focusing...
Who finished second behind him in the first moto?
Chase did.
Okay, cool. Was Chase in front of him?
No.
Okay, cool. So then, yeah, I win.
How do you win?
It's that simple.
It's as simple as I'm out front and I'm just going to think about, hey, man, like, instead of just, I don't want to go that fast, so I'm just going to let you go. No, man. You're not thinking about riding. You're not thinking about doing math in your head while you're going that fast.
Oh, man. It's not math.
It's math.
It's a simple process. Is Chase ahead of me? No. Did I beat Chase first moto?
Have you ever been?
Yes.
Have you ever been going that fast and you just think about?
No, I don't go that fast, but I could go. And when I race, I don't race the same fucking person every week. So for me, it's a little bit more tricky, and I'm not in that position. My position is the gate drops, and I just ride my fucking dirt bike because I'm usually like in the middle of the pack anyway.
Why doesn't he just say that he wasn't comfortable going that pace and be end of it?
Well, we don't even know that he didn't fucking say that. Okay,
I don't believe he did. I don't believe he did. I don't.
And probably he didn't. But at the same time, it's very obvious it was.
So he didn't feel comfortable going that pace, and this is what I'm talking about. With
Okay,
I don't
cool.
feel that Jett is doing something that we've never seen before. Bro, you're not God level speed. You're not that much better than all these dudes. You didn't feel comfortable going the pace that Kenny was going for 20 minutes, so you decided to take the easy way out and let him go. But yeah, you never got past that whole entire time. You never got past that whole entire time.
Are you mad that he let him go?
No, I'm mad that everybody. I'm mad that everybody's gonna twist.
You know what?
this.
I don't want to hit the deck.
No, I'm mad that everybody's gonna twist that all of a sudden that. Yeah, man, just Jett did the nice thing, and he's like, "Hey, Kenny, just go on by." No, bro, you weren't go. That's how his fans will twist it. That's how his fans will twist it.
Literally, no one is.
You should get on some forums. Nice. You should get on some forums sometimes and look at his fans.
Like he was nice just to let Kenny get him. Yeah, like Kenny didn't get the overall. It's not like he gave Kenny the fucking.
They'll twist it. They'll twist it and go, "Oh man, he was just giving Kenny one." They'll just give Kenny. You don't watch the forums, trust me, bro. That's what his fans do.
All right, well,
his fans do that. That's what he irritates.
The Deegan fans also tell me that he's fucking the next Ricky Carmichael, but we'll wait and see how that fucking plays out.
I'm not disputing that Jett was not being smart. I'm disputing the fact that Jett didn't feel like going a speed for 20 minutes proves my point that he's doing something that everybody else has done. Everybody can go as fast as him when they want to on certain nights, and that's all I'm saying. I'm not taking away he won the overall. You're putting words in my mouth. You're putting words in my mouth, man. You're acting as if I'm taking away the fact that he won. I just literally said that he had Sexton covered the first moto, and he was killing it. What I'm saying is that the fact that he didn't want to go a speed for 20 minutes, I get not wanting to hit the deck. But that proves the point is that he can't be just faster than anybody on any given night. He went to a level that he was not comfortable with, so he let Kenny by, whatever. And that's cool. Awesome, man. You're not going to be the fastest guy. But all we have heard since the beginning of Outdoors till the 22-0 perfect season is that Jett is only riding at 85%. Dude, if he was riding at 85%, then going that speed would have been no problem.
Great, cool.
That's my point. He's not God level, next level speed compared to these dudes on this type of shit. That is only my only point. He's not doing something we've never seen people go that fast.
I feel like we've changed points several times.
No, that's been my point from the beginning. My point from the beginning has been he's doing something that is we've not watched somebody go as smooth as him, but it's not like people can't go as fast as him. All talk all summer. What was Stu and Ricky? Oh, man, he's only going like 85%. No, man, I think he's going 95. No, man, maybe he's going 85, 90. Last night proved that he's going to a level that he's not going to go much further.
So you're gonna base your fucking conclusion on one fucking race?
Yes, because that's what you do.
We just saw 22 races.
Yes, because this is an outdoors.
And now one race.
This isn't. Yes.
One race.
Because if you're going to be the GOAT, you're going to be better than everybody every night.
One
that's what Ricky Carmichael did.
Fucking hybrid track.
Yes.
You're going to base this on.
Yes, because if you're going to go...
Because Ricky never lost. Ricky never fucking lost.
Go look at Ricky.
Ricky hit a fucking boat.
And what, did he win the championship?
He hit a fucking boat.
I also think he won the title that year.
So you'd have had more respect for him if he'd have just gone until he hit the deck last night.
No, I would have
That's the fucking dumbest thing
I would
have
had more respect for him than if he would have just said, "Hey man, I'm not comfortable going that speed." And then we would have just been like, well, we now know Jett that is pushing it he's pushing it. He's actually pushing it. Because people will be like, oh man, he's only going at 85.
You could base this off one race.
Yes,
like
because that's
argument you've ever had.
Because that's what you do. Every race. Because that proves that during outdoors, maybe he actually was going faster than we think he was. Sure. That's my only argument.
Okay, great. Even if he was, he still fucking beat everybody every fucking moto.
He did, man. He did. But he's not all of a sudden some god that we've never seen do something on a dirt bike. He's going. He's pushing it. Because I get sick and tired when people act like he's not trying. It's fucking disrespectful. It is so disrespectful to everybody. It is, dude. It's disrespectful. That's like if you played hockey and you busted your ass, and then somebody was like, yeah, man, I was really only playing 50%. Like, you're really not as good as you think you are. It is. It is, dude.
Great. Then
it is. Because you know what? They did. He won. He wouldn't beat him. He wouldn't beat him. Because Jett was like, hey, man, no mas.
Once.
It doesn't matter.
If it happens more, great, cool. Then we can start having this conversation. But I'm not going to freak out and have this conversation over one fucking race.
I'm not freaking out.
I mean, we had two motos on a fucking weirdo track last week that
Chase beat him 1-1.
That no one was set up for.
Chase obviously was.
No one was set up for.
Chase obviously was.
Chase had the best of the
and he still made it work. And he still made it work. And he went 1-1.
Awesome.
And he went a second
and
faster
then
than Jett.
Now we have another. it's like an outdoor track in a fucking speedway. Okay, cool.
So Kenny beat him on an outdoor track.
And Kenny fucking beat him one moto because he waved him by. Awesome, cool, great. Because we don't. Here's the thing. Now we're just playing if, ands, whats, or buts. Great, cool. Maybe he doesn't wave him by. Maybe he doesn't hit the deck and he fucking beats him. Awesome.
But he did.
But he made the decision in his head to not even chance hitting the deck, because if he hits the deck, he's completely out of it.
Yep.
He's fucked for his offseason.
And that's
whole 9 yards.
Respectful.
So instead, he played the smart move instead of being a fucking moron, which again is something we don't really fucking see in this sport.
I've seen it.
Because they just fucking hit the deck.
RV didn't hit the deck. Dunge didn't hit the deck. Plain and simple. Go back and tell me. RV won 4 straight
Dunge isn't even...
How many titles does Dunge have? Yes, he's relevant in this conversation.
No.
He is.
No.
How many titles does he have?
Dunge did the...
He's doing what you're talking about. He played the smart game.
Dunge podiumed everybody today.
He also won a lot of fucking races. He won a lot of races. How many all-time... Isn't he like fourth all-time in Supercross wins?
Dunge just podiumed everybody.
Isn't he fourth all-time in Supercross wins?
There isn't...
Is he fourth all-time in Supercross wins? I
don't even...
So honestly, he's top 5. He's top 5. He's top 5, and I'm pretty sure he's also top 5 outdoor wins. You can't just say podiumed when you're top 5 in both statistical categories.
Yeah, and Jett passed him in one fucking year.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
He's literally...
He doesn't have more wins than him outdoors.
He's literally like 4th or 5th.
He doesn't have more wins than outdoors.
He's right behind him.
So you making
one more season,
you making the comment that he podiumed when he has more wins than almost everybody else other than 3 dudes? That doesn't make any sense. It literally makes no sense. He's got a bunch of championships. He raced with some of the best.
I just can't. You just hate him because, man, he is so fucking good. You just hate him.
We're never going to see eye to eye on this, bro. We're never going to see eye to eye. It's cool, man.
When we get to the end of his career and he's got 75 Supercross wins and 200 fucking outdoor wins and fucking however many titles and perfect seasons, I'm gonna make you apologize to me.
I'm never gonna apologize. No, man, we're never gonna see eye to eye on this. We're never gonna see eye to eye on this.
You just are like, so I don't even understand. Like, man, you have like this golden era with like the Ricky Stu days, and like nothing's ever gonna top that.
No, because I've never watched people go as fast as them. That's what it is to me. Speed, ultimately, to me, is the barometer. Speed and championships, which Ricky has both.
But what are you basing the speed on?
Beat everybody all the time. Beat them by 35 seconds. If you're really that much better than everybody, you can go out and prove that you can beat 35 seconds. I would love one race. Just one. Just one fucking race. Jett to go, you know what? I'm really going to push it the whole entire time, and we'll really see how good he is. Because if he still only beats him by 10, 15 seconds, then you're not Ricky Carmichael. Because Ricky, on days that he wanted to, which is all the fucking time in outdoors, when he wanted to, he could go win by a minute over James Stewart. That's the difference. When you go do that,
sure,
that's what makes you Ricky Carmichael. That's why when you talk about people will never agree that Jett is the GOAT other than these new fans, that is exactly why. And that is talking about people that know this shit inside and out, that have been there, raced that. That is the difference. That is the difference between people like those and us.
We've been over this argument. The quality of the talent back when
he raced James Stewart. Who is Jett racing that's James Stewart? Who is Jett racing that is James Stewart and Chad Reed right now? No one. No one.
Fucking Chase Sexton.
Chase Sexton is not James Stewart. He's not.
He's halfway there.
No, he's not. He's not even close. He doesn't have the wins. He doesn't have the wins.
How many outdoor titles does James have?
He's got 2. No, he's got the 1. He's got a 1 in 08. Because the rest of the time, he was never healthy and he never fucking got in through Supercross outdoors.
So we're literally 33% of the way there. Okay.
You don't get it. You don't get it. You don't get it, dude. I love you to death. I love you to death, but you don't get it.
That's why this argument.
But you don't get it. When you race Ricky Carmichael and you're the greatest of all time, you're not going to win championships. How many championships does Chase have as on a big bike? 1.
When he buries every fucking record ever,
no.
then we'll readdress this conversation.
It's not going to happen. Because you're doing what I did with Stu, so I'll give you a little bit of a little bit of leeway, and then when you realize that it's not going to happen, we'll be fine.
There's just okay, all right, sure, man. I mean,
there's a reason why nobody believes that he's going to beat Ricky's records. There's a reason why.
Who doesn't believe that?
When have you heard anybody that's like, oh, he's going to beat it? It's because no one wants to actually be the fool that's going to say, he's going to beat Ricky. Even Daniel Blair doesn't believe what you think is going to happen in Supercross.
Daniel Blair said that he didn't think he was going to go 17-0. Which, by the way, DB, I'm going to need that captain's hat and those wings for flying the generational jet over here.
Text Jace, or DM him when you get a chance, and ask him if he actually believes that Jett can go 17-0 on a Supercross track.
Oh, we'll see.
And when he comes back, because the difference between you and him and everybody else is, he actually has known that family their entire lives, and I think that he is the biggest Jett Lawrence fan, and even he'll tell you, Yeah, man, that's probably a little much.
Look, here's the thing. The 17-0 is a completely other conversation. We'll get there when it's time, okay? But the fact that
if you're gonna let a dude by, then you're not gonna go 17-0 because you went a little bit faster than you wanted to.
But the fact that he can smash, or that he can smash all the fucking records as far as wins and shit go.
Yeah, I don't believe that.
I don't believe
that because you're gonna have to go past you're gonna have to sometimes, you talk about using the big brain, you're gonna have to sometimes shut that big brain off, and you're gonna have to be willing to hit the deck to win that much.
Like I said,
because there's gonna be nights that Chase and Eli and Kenny and all those dudes are gonna push you to the limit, and that's the difference. Sure. That's the difference. So smashing all the records, you're gonna have to do that.
Yeah,
you're gonna have to do that because you're not just gonna win by being that much faster than everybody every night, because clearly last night he wasn't. Clearly 2 weekends ago he wasn't.
Yeah, well, like I said, the North Carolina thing was
It doesn't matter. You keep saying it was a weird race. Chase still also was able to dial it in for 2 motos.
That's fine. That's fine. And
that's the difference.
Like
that's
Ricky,
why
Ricky didn't win every fucking race all the time.
Fucking pretty goddamn close.
Not in Supercross.
Pretty goddamn close. He's got 5 Supercross titles. Pretty damn close.
He does have 5.
Pretty damn close. Pretty fucking close.
That is correct.
Pretty damn close.
Yes.
So, pretty close.
And he has 5 Supercross titles, and we do talk about his. But he's only how many wins does he have though? Because when did Eli pass him?
I don't know. He's got 48.
Is that
48 or 49? No, because Stu's got 50, Eli's got 51, and I think Ricky's got either 48 or 49.
No, was it 47? I feel like it was 47.
Still,
like
a lot of fucking wins.
Something like that. Yeah,
it's a lot of wins.
It is.
It's a lot of wins and 5 titles, and
I'm not saying it's not. But 48 wins is he didn't win every fucking race, every fucking season.
Still won how many years did he race Supercross? 5. Actually, it wasn't even 5. So when you talk about the statistical thing of how many actual years he completed in Supercross full time, yeah, that's a lot of wins.
When did you go to the big bike class? Wasn't it 90?
No, he dabbled in 99 and then in 2000, but he missed an entire year.
So 2000, 2001, 2002, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 7 years he won 5 times.
Did you go from 2000 all the way to 2006?
Yeah.
He missed a year in there. He didn't race with the year that Chad won the title in 2004.
Oh, well, perfect. Then we have a bonus year built in there. So in 6 years...
He didn't ride the whole year.
So?
He went a year without riding a dirt bike.
That's fine. That's his
and then he went out and won the title the next year.
I mean, that's fine. That's his prerogative. That's okay.
Not really. So not when you can't get on the dirt bike.
Okay.
So, no.
So, wait. So, do we get to do that with Jett, then?
What? If he misses a year and comes back? Yeah, sure. If that's what he's going to do.
Just get to, write that year right out of the formula?
Yeah, sure. If that's what you want to do. I don't think anybody's writing that year out of the formula. He just didn't race. So, you can't count it if he didn't race.
I mean, that's great. It's still, it's 7 years.
And he also, I'm pretty sure he had to race Jeremy McGrath when he got into this big bike class, too. So, a little bit different. A little bit different, bud. A little bit different.
Everything's fine.
We'll see.
75 wins.
We'll find
200 outdoor wins.
I honestly, when I hear shit like that, people, I know that you're going over the top and you actually don't believe that. But I honestly, when I hear shit like that, I really hope that when I hear people talk like that, it makes me want them to just suck.
Yeah.
Because I
don't think I that wish granted.
Really? How long did it take Eli Tomac to win a Supercross title?
I mean, that could be a thing, too.
It could. It really could.
But, man, I don't know. I don't really see that happening, so.
Whatever, dude. Whatever. We're never going to see eye to eye on this. We're never going to. Because you come from the newer era. I come from the old era. I watch those guys beat everybody every night, and they lay it all on the line, and we just don't know where Jett stands. We don't really know how good Jett actually is. Because he doesn't want to try to do it, and I respect him for it. But one night, man, just lay it all on the line. Just lay it all on the fucking line and see how much you can actually beat these dudes. And if you can go beat them like you did Ricky and Stu did, this is a totally different conversation. But that's why people don't believe that a Jett is...
But I don't want to base on one night either. Like, even if he does
Isn't he 1-4 in his last 4 motos?
Even if he does...
Or 1-3?
Even if he does that, like, he goes out there one time and just spanks everybody by a fucking minute or some shit, like, I don't want to base it on that.
I do. Because that's the difference.
I want to see him do it consistently, and then I'll be like, okay,
that's what the hypothetical conversations are going to be when we get to that point. Because Mount Rushmore isn't a discernible thing. It's hypothetical.
Yeah.
That's where these conversations will come in. That's why you Jett fans, will get so much pushback is because we don't really know how good Jett is. We know how good Ricky and Stu were. We knew.
Well, their careers are over. So when we get to the end of Jett's career, we can reassess this at a whole
and you start finding the little things like, well, how much did you beat so-and-so by? How much did you... Because if he ends his career with the same amount of wins and the same amount of titles as Ricky, what do you think the conversation's going to be?
He's going to have the same amount. He's gonna have more.
Where's your basis?
We won 22 motos our first fucking.
I don't
season.
care. You went against
That's
you went against a depleted field, and Chase wasn't there the whole fucking year.
Oh boy, here we go. The depleted field argument.
It's a depleted field. Was Eli there?
Look, dude, do we need to call Jace and have him tell you how Stu's perfect season was shit because the field was nobody?
Cool, man.
He didn't fucking race anybody.
He still beat everybody by a minute every moto, so we knew how good he was that day.
I guess. Who was his main competition in 08?
I'm pretty sure guys like Tim Ferry
Mike Alessi.
And Mike Alessi's not good? Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
You didn't. That's the thing. You didn't watch Mikey back in the day. You weren't.
No, I did not watch.
You were not there for those
Mike
races.
and Tony show.
You weren't there for those races.
I did not watch the Mike and Tony show.
You didn't.
In person.
You didn't.
I did.
You didn't.
Not.
I did though. I did.
Okay.
I did. I watched how fast Mike went on days. I did.
Okay.
Yeah, I did. Mike was fast. Mike never won a championship. He was never that good. But on any given day, he could beat anybody in the world.
Was Chase Sexton fast?
Chase Sexton is pretty fast.
He would. No, Mike Alessi. You're equating Mike Alessi to Chase Sexton.
I'm pretty sure they both have the same amount of outdoor titles. Deuces. 0.
And how many indoor titles does Chase have?
Did Eli Tomac not throw that one away? Did Chase earn that title?
Does he have a title?
No, he doesn't, because he didn't get one handed to him.
Okay.
These are the
How many
conversations that
250
happen.
titles does Mike have? How many lights class?
How many titles did Chase get handed to him? Oh yeah, that's right. Austin Fortner also blew himself out, but was spanking
He's
him.
doing really well at getting it.
So he's got
fine.
one title that he actually earned and beat everybody. One title.
Really?
So he's got one more than Mike. Cool.
He's got 3.
Fucking kudos, bro.
Yeah,
you got
actually,
one.
if
You
we
got
open-
one
if we open
more.
the book, there's
You
gonna
got
be
one.
3 there.
You got one more.
If we open the book,
And I also
there's
have a
gonna be
brain, and I
3.
watched. I also have a brain and watched those races and watched his ass get fucking yarded 95% of the year. You got one fucking title, so you have one more than Michael Alessi. Awesome, dude. Awesome. You also beat Shane McElrath for that title. Awesome. Fucking awesome. No, I don't care.
I'm just saying.
I really don't care.
If we're gonna start going down this hole here,
We are.
And then Tim Ferry. What's Tim Ferry got for titles?
Tim Ferry's got one.
Got 1.
And he also was solid fucking almost podiumed his whole entire career.
Yeah, so he was
Top 3.
Yeah.
What has Chase done most of his career? Crash.
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Well, we're at least we got one guy that had a title.
Yeah.
That was
One.
challenging him in his perfect season.
Nah, not really.
I see, like how I'm poking these buttons.
Yeah,
I
man.
love
Because
poking the buttons with
when
the
you go down
stupid-
this road, I'm gonna lay all the facts on the line. I don't just take that at face value.
I think Stu and Ricky are great fucking riders, dude.
Yeah, they're the 2 best of all time. Well, actually, RV's in there,
They are the 2 best of all time currently.
and they will. And Ricky will still be the best at the end of his career because ultimately there's somebody that's gonna come along and that's gonna be faster than Chase.
His career is over, so at the end of his career, he was the best.
And he's going to
guy.
be better than Jett because ultimately somebody's going to come along, just like with Jett, and they're going to be better than Jett, and then ultimately somebody's going to come along and be better than that dude, and ultimately we've seen it the whole entire time of Moto. Someone will always come along and be better.
There just is never going to be another Ricky Carmichael.
No, because of the way he did it.
Never.
No.
Never.
No.
Okay.
Because of the way he did it.
That might be the stupidest thing I've ever heard you say.
No, it's the most logical thing.
No way.
Because there's nobody that is going to be willing to lay their body on the line every weekend because they're a bunch of soft ass people these days.
At some point, someone is going to come along and beat that.
Maybe.
And that person, I think, we're watching right now.
Yeah, maybe
Because-
not, or maybe
because the person we're watching right now, especially after what happened last night, chances of him missing a year are getting slimmer and slimmer by making decisions like what we saw last night.
You also, to beat all those and get all those wins, you also have to be willing to lay it all on the line when nights that you're just not faster than someone, or they push you to a limit that you're not comfortable with.
I mean, 3 nights a year that someone's faster than him. Okay, cool. I think we'll take those 3 losses in a year.
So if you add up 3 nights a year, every year, you're not going to beat Ricky Carmichael's records.
out of 31 races,
Yes.
So you're going to win 28 out of 31 every
Yeah,
single year.
yeah.
For at least.
Well, ultimately, if it
6
looks like
years.
if the schedule keeps changing, we don't know what we're going to end up, and we might end up in these wonky tracks. I'm just saying, man, I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. He has not deserved all that credit yet. When you start putting him with Ricky, it pisses me off. It's so disrespectful. He has not won enough, and he has not done enough when you start putting him with
22
Ricky.
motos isn't enough.
No, it's not, because Ricky did it twice, and he did it against Stu.
Fourth all time.
Cool,
In
man.
Outdoor wins.
Cool, man. Cool.
It's just not enough.
No, it's not. It's not. Because when Stu did
So
it,
when we get to like second next year, or third, whatever.
You're assuming. You're assuming a lot.
Then we're gonna be okay.
You're assuming.
Is
a
that
lot.
better?
You're assuming. You're assuming. Yeah. Okay. Then he's done it twice now, and so did Ricky.
I'm just saying when we get to third here, which I don't even think we have to go perfect season next year to get to third. I don't know. I'm not gonna look it up right now because it's like whatever. But
you're assuming. You're assuming.
Well, you're assuming that he's not going to. So I guess we're both assuming in that case.
Yeah. I don't see it
because you're assuming that like we're just gonna like fall off a fucking.
No,
cliff
I
there.
just feel that eventually people are going to figure it out. Chase is going to figure it out, just like he always has. And he's going to crash, and he's probably not going to be for a title, but he's not allowed to go 22-0. Because the races this year, there were races, Chase was just as fast with him, and he did Chase things. If he would have just did what Jett did, used his brain a little bit, he'd have passed him, and then we could have had a different story. But no, he did Chase Sexton things, he knifed the front, hit the ground like he always does, and that's the difference. So eventually, Chase is going to just figure out how to stop being an idiot.
I mean, we kind of thought we were going to see that this year. It's still happening, so I'm not convinced that we're going to see that. I mean, maybe, hopefully.
Yeah.
Because it'll give us better racing in a sense. But I don't know. I'm not sure. We've talked about this a lot too. I think we're in for some boring times in our lives here because the kids
last night proved we're not.
Okay.
The last 2 weekends have proved we're not. And you talk about how it's only three. It's only 3 motos, but it's still a part of the racing.
I mean, we've all talked about it, especially with the Kenny thing. Kenny could have came out last week and won both motos by fucking 30 seconds, and none of us would have been surprised.
Nope, we wouldn't. And he won't do it again. And he won't do it again the next weekend. The difference is that he still has to race Eli Tomac. If Eli's 100%, Eli is not Ken Roczen.
Yeah.
Eli is actually like fucking how many titles has he won in the last few years or however many it's been. Mm-hmm. So if Eli's Eli. And Supercross is an outdoors. We all know this.
Yeah.
We've all seen this a million times. Mm-hmm. That kid could get a super big reality check come A1, and he'll figure it out because he's Jett Lawrence and he's that good. But Supercross is not outdoors. We always talk about this. Go to Supercross, it's not outdoors. Outdoors is not Supercross. It's a lot fucking more on, and we've seen it with a little bit of Supercross that happened in Charlotte, where you have to wear with stiff suspension. And Jett didn't like it. Jett was not cool. He was not cool with that. Here's the thing, man. You're eventually just going to have to get used to it. So that's why I say we'll wait. We'll wait and see. Now, we go to Supercross?
I mean, yeah, he didn't. The stiff suspension didn't work on the moto sections for him at all. Like, that didn't...
He got passed in the Supercross section, bro.
Like, that didn't work.
He got passed in the Supercross section. He didn't get passed in the outdoor section.
What do you mean passed in the Supercross section?
Kenny passed him in that rhythm section. We're not talking about Chicago. We're talking about Charlotte. The rhythm section, that whole section, that's where Kenny passed him. And then also, Ando stayed tight on a fucking flat left-hander, which is a technical part of Supercross, a lot of flat corners, and that's where Anderson passed him.
Huh. Well,
so that's Supercross. It's not outdoors.
All right, great. Well, you know what? When that 17-0 season comes, it's just going to be...
Cool.
That was 45 minutes.
Yeah. Because this is the one conversation that the Deegan thing I don't care, but the Jett thing it actually bugs me.
Just wait, because the Deegan conversation's gonna fucking get out of control too at some point.
I don't really know. I think we're gonna be fine with that. I think you and me are always gonna see eye to eye on Deegan.
Yeah, I mean he's fucking good, so we'll get there. So Kenny goes 3-1 for second. He wasn't super pumped at the Jett situation there. I don't know. Like I said, I gotta go back and watch and see the fuck Jett even said to see if it's if he did say like, hey, there we go. Kenny was going a lot faster, whatever. Kenny was flying that second moto, dude. Like the fact that Jett gapped him and then he caught back up to him, even though Jett let him by, like Kenny was moving. So, and we were very impressed because you'd said it several times during the moto. Like, I can't believe Kenny's not fading already.
Yeah. I mean, Kenny was also good the first moto. He just didn't get as good of a start.
Yeah.
And that leads me to believe, especially with how good his bike was tracking on a rope, especially when you start going a few of the high, like the short shoe straightaways, and then you start getting into the choppy shit and just be able to get in his bike to settle and actually squat going into the corners instead of just kind of sitting high and bouncing around. And then a lot of guys were having problems, especially that straightaway before you come back to the mechanics area, like as hard as you're pushing it in, and how hard you're dragging the brakes, the back end would start to lift a little bit, and then it would hit one of the square edges, and it would pitch it sideways, so the angle would be wrong. I think Kenny, had he got a good start in that first moto, I think he would have done the same thing he did in the second moto.
Yeah.
Because he was better than Chase. And as hard as he was pushing that whole entire first moto, I seriously believe we would have had the same thing on our hands the first moto had Kenny got a start.
Yeah.
But just once again, that track was so hard to
dependent.
pass.
It was start dependent.
And, I'll have to go back and look at the lap times, but it really would not shock me if we go back to look at the lap times when Kenny actually got around that bunch of guys, which was like Dylan, AP, and somebody else was in there. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was just Dylan and AP. When he got around that group and he actually had a clear track, it really would not shock me if we go back and look at the lap times, and Kenny's lap times were almost mirroring Jett's.
Yeah.
I don't know if they were. Maybe they weren't. I don't know. I'll have to go and look. But it wouldn't shock me if they were.
Yeah.
And which would prove the point that, like, had he got to start the first moto, maybe he doesn't beat him, whatever. But I think we would have had a lot more interesting race that first moto had Kenny got a start.
Yeah. Sexton goes 2-3 for third. His bike just didn't look. It looked like shit.
I don't think he changed suspension.
No.
Like, he can make the joke like, "Hey man, I just feel better on Supercross." Dude, that shit don't work on outdoors.
Nah,
just like with Jett and the Supercross suspension now, well, like same thing. It just you can make that comment and that's cool and that's fine and we all kind of like fine, whatever, dude. But his bike looked like shit. Like there were so many times in like when he would try to carve a corner, I could see that front end would just not push through the stroke. That thing was sitting so high, and then it was leaning in, and then the front end would get a little bit of twitch, and it'd start to push. And I'm like, dude, that's probably going to be cool for next weekend, when we probably go full Supercross. But I don't know if it would have made a difference. But man, his bike was just shit.
Yeah.
It was just fucking terrible.
Yep.
So I don't know what the thought process behind it. Maybe he's just like, hey man, like, it doesn't really matter what I do today. We'll go to LA and do what we're gonna do there.
Yeah, AP goes 5-4 for fourth, so that's a decent ride for AP there.
Yeah.
Just kind of.
I don't know, man. He was in it. Him and Dylan had a really good battle at the end of
Yeah.
that second moto or the first moto, and then he got Dylan on like the last lap on the double before the tunnel. I think it was the last lap.
Yeah.
And Dylan didn't look super pumped, which he shouldn't have been. Like, the fuck are you not guarding the inside for? But no, man, good ride for AP. I think the last 2 weekends, even though we talked about this in Charlotte, he was kind of he looks like he's got more spunk these last 4 motos than he did almost all outdoors.
Yep.
And I don't know what you attribute that to, but
who knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
So, all right, Dylan goes 6-5 for fifth.
once again, that bike fucking looked great in Charlotte.
Yeah,
didn't look great
didn't look
last
good.
night. I don't know. Well, and it was more outdoors.
Yeah. So who knows? Barsha goes 4-10 for sixth.
Got good starts both motos. Dropped anchor pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what happened the second moto. He obviously had to crash because he was like top 5 on the start.
Yeah. Webb goes 8-7 for seventh. He didn't look happy when I saw him.
I mean, it
in
should
the
be. He
pits.
was fucking battling with Ty.
He didn't look happy after the first one.
Garrett
He
Marchbanks
didn't look happy
and-
after the second one. This isn't going as well as we kind of thought it was.
Well,
going to.
no, but we also talked about this last show. Like, I'll see A1, dude.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see when we get there. But right now, it doesn't. Look super great.
No,
right?
it doesn't.
Oh boy, here we go. Phil Nicoletti, fucking hole shotted.
You know what? We talk
The
about Jett and
second
Kenny.
moto.
Come on, Jett. Just let the man hold wire to wire for the first lap. Just let him get a lap in, and Phil can be like, "I've done it all. I quit."
Fucking awesome. Led half a lap there. 7-9 for eighth. Like
What
what,
actually
a great night. Great start the first moto too. I mean,
and then he squinted out going across the first line. He all of a sudden forgot how to ride a dirt bike. But it's like, dude, he was on one yesterday.
That was just incredible. I was super pumped.
Is he
Super pumped.
Is he riding the 450 for Supercross, or is he
No.
back on the 250?
No, he's riding 250 Supercross and 450 outdoors.
Man, he might stick his nose in there and do better than expected.
Yeah, super interesting stuff. So, Jason Anderson goes 13-6 for ninth.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay. He was. I don't know. For as
something
fast
happened.
as he looked in qualifying, it wasn't.
Something happened to him in the first moto because he was like almost dead last.
Yeah. Colt Nichols goes 12-8 for 10.
Good second moto.
Yeah, that's okay. Marchbanks goes 10-11 for 11th.
I mean, hey man, the best of the rest, I guess.
Yeah,
Ty.
looked okay. Ty goes 9-13 for 12. AC, didn't really notice him a whole bunch yesterday.
Not good.
Because
Not
he
really
wasn't
good
really doing anything. Yeah,
Not really good all weekend.
He crashed at some point because I saw him crash.
I think he crashed the second moto. I think the first moto he just wasn't going anywhere.
No, I saw him crash. It was in practice he crashed
Oh.
that I saw it. Yeah, because it was first practice when we were watching. So they started off rough for him. So 11-12 again for 13. Freddie Norn goes 14-14 for 14. Classic! Second moto. Norn Wilson battle to the fucking death. It was awesome. I was there. There wasn't much else to watch. I was watching that for like 3 laps in the middle of the moto. Those two just going at it. Dino pushed him wide coming into that double section. Freddie wasn't happy, and 2 laps later, Freddie got him. So Dino goes 15-15 for 15th. He doesn't look great right now either. I don't know what the deal is with him. Jeremy Hand. A4. Goes 18-16 for 16th. Jerry Robbins, 16-18 for 17. Grant Harlan, 20-17 for 18. Chiz goes 19-19 for 19th. Shane McElrath goes 17-21 for 20th. And the Hill brothers round out 21st and 22nd because they didn't even fucking try.
I don't understand what Justin Hill's been doing. I don't understand how you can come off having such a great Supercross season and then go do these. And it was even the same thing in World Supercross. Like, I understand he had the Super Pole that one, and we were like, oh my god, like, you went faster than Kenny.
Yeah.
But even then in the races, he wasn't great. I don't understand how you can go from being that. I think he needs to go back to a KTM.
Yeah, I don't understand either.
That's how is that working?
It's super weird because, like, they showed up on different bikes and everything, but they still have the Tedder truck. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't think that Cowie's working for him. He needs to go back to that KTM because he was so good at Supercross, and all of a sudden, like, I just don't know what he's doing.
Yep. So, all right. So that's been your 450 race recap brought to you by our friends at Gutterworks.